Good morning, Wadsworth. How's everybody doing?
Wonderful.
We have such a good time
We
doing
do.
this. I'm Janie Parrish from the Wadsworth Area Chamber of Commerce, along with my stunningly gorgeous, debonair, and what a fun guy, Michael Reynolds. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Janie, and thank you again for the introduction. It's
Sure.
always an adventure to hear what you're going to say.
I know. Well, you know what? I make his day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. By the end of the week, because Michael's the director of sales for the Post newspaper, by the end of the week, he's a mess. So I had to give him a little boost, building back up.
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
So you know what? Next week is the big day for the opening of the grand opening of Pine Valley Golf Course.
It is.
Yep. Friday, May 24th. Starts about 5, the festivities, and ribbon cutting at 5:30.
That is correct.
So,
Open house, 5 to 8, and everyone's welcome.
Yep. And I'm bringing the neighborhood. I thought I would, if you don't mind. Oh my gosh. Okay, well today we have 3 lovely ladies, stunningly gorgeous, lovely ladies that are from the Inn at CoalRidge, which is on the north end of Wadsworth.
Yes.
On State Road, but the address is actually CoalRidge Parkway. And so let me introduce everybody. First of all, we have Tammy Langford. Tammy is the executive director at the Inn at CoalRidge.
Yes.
And then the very newest employee is Debbie Gooden, and Debbie's the director of marketing at the Inn at CoalRidge. And then we have Chris Felice. How'd I do on that?
Very well.
Perfect. And Chris's mom is a resident at the Inn at CoalRidge, and they thought it was a good idea to bring Chris along and explain, because the whole thing is wonderful at the Inn at CoalRidge. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
But when you're making that decision, it's emotional.
Sure it
So Chris has lived through it. I've lived through it.
Yes, you
and
have.
Anyway, so we're going to talk about the Inn at CoalRidge.
Oh, thank
So
you.
welcome, good-looking ladies.
Thank you.
We're happy to be part of this good-looking team here.
It's nice to have them dress the show up a little bit, right?
Okay, so Tammy, tell me about the Inn at CoalRidge, about your family connection with it.
Well, the Inn at CoalRidge is, when I started there, I actually, a friend of mine was a nurse that I used to work with before and had called me in and said, hey, we're looking for a director of nursing for the Inn at CoalRidge. And at that time, I was not looking for a director position again because I had been one previously. But she said, come on up, do an interview up here. So I came up. The minute I pulled into the Inn at CoalRidge, I knew that was going to be where I wanted to work. It's just a beautiful place. When you walk in, it's like home. I mean, you feel the feeling of comfort and home. And that's what we get with a lot of our tours, a lot of our families that come in. One of the things they say is, this place just feels like home. And that's what we want to portray to all our families. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we do portray, is that we're home-like atmosphere. And, you know, I feel that they feel like the comfort, the fireplace, the surroundings, the atmosphere is just like home.
The
and that's
bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bar.
Yeah, you don't have a bar at home for the most
No,
part.
no.
Not
Yeah.
stocked that well.
No. And we do have a lot of amenities. We have the cafe, and we have fresh baked cookies every day, and ice cream in there for them throughout the day. And we have the bar. We do happy hour every Friday, and it brings a lot of families. And we also have a movie theater. We play movies every day, and we matinees on the weekend. We have a little activity room. We have activities. We have sitting areas out throughout our whole areas of our building, because we want people to feel like when they are visiting that they're not in the rooms. They don't have to visit in their bedrooms. They're coming out into a family atmosphere to have a conversation with their families. We have a courtyard through the summertime. It's beautiful. We have a waterfall outside, a patio over, you know. It's just a nice, comforting
When are we moving
place.
in?
I know.
I know. Well, a lot of families will say that, you know, Mom, if you're not moving in, we're moving in.
And you have a bird sanctuary.
We do. Finches are in there, and it's beautiful. A lot of families, that's some of the reasons some of the residents come, because they do love to sit there during our meal times and watch the birds. It's right in our dining room. Yes. Beautiful.
Oh, and it's
is.
gorgeous, but it's caring, and
Yes.
that's the
It is.
ticket.
You almost
It
get the
is.
feel that you're going into a ski lodge or a lodge
Yes,
out
you
in
do.
the open in the west or something.
do.
It's a beautiful
You
place.
do.
And you play a lot of Motown outside when
We
I'm
do.
walking in.
We do.
I'm listening to Aretha.
That's just for you.
Yeah. I usually see you dancing when you're walking in, Jamie.
Yeah, they see you coming from the parking lot, and then they just hit the button that says Jamie's entrance.
Crank it up.
That's
Crank
right.
that music up. So how about you, Debbie? Where did you come from, and what's going on with you?
Well, I actually was a vendor for the Inn at CoalRidge was one of my accounts.
Oh, okay.
And so I worked for a company that provided therapy and additional services. And so I called on the CoalRidge, and we had set our therapy team up in there, and so we have on-site therapy there. And so I had always been outside sales. And so I often thought if I ever went to inside sales, that the inn was somewhere I would want to work. It just, same thing that Tammy was saying. I always just felt like when I walked in, it was just a class above. It was like, I love this place. It's just a class above. And it just was just somewhere I thought, that I could work there if the opportunity ever, came. And then it was actually on a Sunday night, somebody called me and knew I was looking to make a change, and they said, we think that there could be an opening. And so I knew Tammy because of,
Sure.
being a vendor, and I called her. It was on a Sunday night, and by Friday I had the job.
Perfect.
It was wonderful, and it's just been I can't even tell you how job happy I am and how much I love it. I mean, the families, the residents, I'm just like, I don't leave. I stay till, I just don't want to go home. To me, it's like home. I love being there. I love being a part of it, and everything, and the families and the atmosphere there, and right from the top down. Like our owners, they're just very family oriented and caring, loving people, and I think it just shows. I think it just comes through and trickles down, and our residents, they love being there, and it's fun to go out at lunch when they're all in the dining room and talk with them, and I just have loved this I've been there 6 weeks, and it's just been the best 6 weeks. I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I don't think, and I hear this just not from me, but from all my managers and a lot of the staff members, you don't even feel like you're coming to work.
No.
You feel like you're going to your second home. And when we leave for the day, people in the dining room, bye mom, see you tomorrow. It's that feeling of, you're part of the family. The immediate, when we come together, we are a family. And when things happen to each other, we feel it.
It feels like, except when you walk in, it almost feels like you're walking into a resort.
Yes.
When you walk in the front doors, and you do get that homey feeling.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Well, Chris, tell us about your experience with your mom there. I know you're very close with your mom.
My mom and I have a wonderful relationship, and I'm very thankful for that. When she's been there 3 years, and when the day came that we said she's no longer able to be at home, I said I want somewhere where I wanted a sense of home, but I also want safety and security. Sure. And I think the Inn at CoalRidge does that magnificently without it showing. So for example, it's beautiful. It looks like a resort.
It does.
But the carpets are hard surface. So it's very easy for the residents to walk without stumbling. You can push a walker, a wheelchair, beautiful carpet, but it's a hard texture. When you go down the hallways, you see the beautiful decor, and it looks like a chair rail dividing the decor. It's a handrail. So when a resident needs a little stability to grab the handrail, when you need a bench to sit on, they're strategically placed. They have beautiful plants around them. So it's the safety factor built into a beautiful surrounding. I have my mother there. I also have my mother-in-law there now. So it is a sense of home. It's beautiful. It's safe. It's secure. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I can give you an example. I'm talking to my mom. She started to get a tickle in her throat. She said, hang on just a minute, I need a drink of water. I'm okay. I'm on the phone, and I hear her screaming, and I know she's fallen. And that will stop your heart in a second. So I grabbed my husband's phone, called the nurse. The nurse immediately ran to a room to assess what was going on. I couldn't have driven her there that fast. Fortunately, it all turned out well. She fell on her snacks, which broke her fall. So the snacks didn't survive. But
We
that,
brought her more snacks.
the sense of having a nurse there 24/7 that was able to
Oh.
be there immediately and calm me down, saying, everything's fine. You know, she took a little tumble, but we're all good. Everything's fine. So it's been wonderful.
The snacks didn't survive,
The
but
snacks
your
didn't
mom
survive.
is great.
That's right.
And boy, those are wonderful words to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about, well, first of all, how's the food there?
Oh, I think it's wonderful.
We eat it.
If I ate too much of it,
I know,
I'd
we
gain
have
a lot
to
of
be
weight.
careful. In
Yeah,
fact,
we
that was
do.
one thing somebody said to me, be careful going in because you're going to gain weight. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So the food is wonderful. I love to eat in the dining room with the residents, and any of the meals, the food is wonderful. We get a lot of
and even
compliments
if
on our food.
we do get a lot of compliments, but you know, and then there's times that you can't. There's everybody has different tastes.
Taste.
Yeah.
But we do listen to the residents. We have resident council that we listen to the residents
that's
once a
nice.
month, and we talk about the food. We let them voice what they, you know, what's going on. Or if there's something they don't like, we have alternate menus as well. If whatever we are serving that day, there's a side menu to always order from, and that changes with the likes and the seasons and things like that. So we're open to suggestions. We're open to trying new things, and I think we're willing to always try. And that's all we can. You know, we try to do
Oh,
that.
sure.
So you
To
have
please.
a standard planned meal
We
for
do.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We do.
And then the optional menu for those
Yes,
that may want
and
something
our
different.
lunch is our biggest meal of the day. Yeah, but there's always those options on the side that they can order from. So.
Now,
From a resident standpoint, when I said safety and security, when my mom was living at home, she would make her breakfast, and she usually ate a very good breakfast. We used Wadsworth Meal on Wheels at lunch, and by dinner time, we would have meals prepared for her in the freezer, so all she had to do was microwave them. But often by dinner time, she was tired, and she would often say, you know, I just didn't eat dinner, I was too tired. Living at CoalRidge, there are 3 well-balanced nutritional meals every day. The cafe always has snacks in it if a resident's ever hungry. So for me, I had the security of knowing 3 well-balanced meals a day were being provided to her. And that's very comforting.
oh boy, yeah.
Tells me we're going to see you in an ad moving forward for the
Yeah.
CoalRidge.
We do have her room.
She's a great salesperson for it.
Very much so. Now, I have to tell you, my mom was at the Inn at CoalRidge, and she was in memory care. And so that was wonderful to know that although I would forget the combination for but everybody was around to help me get in there.
Give her a little wristband.
But the care was absolutely
thank you.
wonderful.
Aw, thank you.
Absolutely wonderful. And I knew that, because at the end she was not wanting to eat very much. And they just let her make her own mind up, you know, what was going on. And it felt good to be there. But I will never forget the first day that we moved my mom there. And everybody that was working came and introduced themselves. Now, I knew my mom didn't remember
Right.
their names, but you know what, for me, that was wonderful. Yeah, because I felt like they so cared about her. You know what I mean? That they took their time, because we all get so busy in our day, and, you know, it's like an interruption. And but, you know, they all came in and rubbed her hands or hugged her or, you know, made some kind of contact. And boy, that, for me, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me, in the back where the memory care is, then there's another section behind the memory care.
Which is special care.
The special care. So what's the difference between memory care and special care?
Okay. Special care and memory care are connected, and they're both secured units. Special care was there before. We added memory care on in 2014 because we felt there was such a need for it.
Yes.
So memory care is for more residents that are a little higher functioning, maybe still can feed themselves, still can maybe participate in activities, still can maybe even help in their activities of daily living. Special care is for more residents that are more debilitated. Maybe not so much even memory. Sometimes it's just more physical, more maybe wheelchair bound, maybe needing help with feeding, maybe as a 2-person assist. But
Okay.
both areas are secured, so then they have the areas to be able to walk and to, but yet it's more of a confined area, so there's not so much high stimulation as up in the front portion of our building, which is more the independent assisted living. It's all licensed under assisted living, but we have the areas in our building to age in place.
And you have the different areas, but what is your capacity in each of those areas?
We
in total?
have up in the front portion of our building, which is more the independent with the levels added on, are 67 rooms. And then in special care and memory care, there's 17 rooms in both. So we have a total of 101 beds with 133 capacity that we could accommodate.
Very
in
nice.
rooms.
And
Yes.
you do field trips?
Oh, yes. She
We
can talk
do
to you about
field
that.
trips.
Yes.
Yesterday we went to Bonefish Grill.
Yes.
So,
nice.
and
Yes.
everybody dressed up. It was so, it was so neat. They loved it. So we do lots of field trips. And there again, our resident council, when we meet and have our meetings, we ask them, where are places you want to go? Where do you want to do? And we accommodate that, and we add that into our activity schedule. So like I said, yesterday was Bonefish. A couple weeks ago they wanted to go to Hartville Country Kitchen, so we made a trip out to Hartville. We go to ice cream, the barn in Smithville. We do a lot of different things, so we always have and you have choices of going, or if you don't want to go on a field trip, we still have activities going on at the building too. So it's not like if you don't go on the field trip you don't have anything to do. We do both for people that maybe don't want to go on the activity.
The beautiful part about the field trips and the activities, they're designed by the residents.
They are.
So
nice.
CoalRidge is so blessed and so fortunate to have Natalie as the activity director. She has a heart of gold, and once a month she has a meeting with the residents, and her comment is, where do you want to go? What would you like to do?
What do you want to do?
So the
nice.
residents decide where they want to go on a field trip to eat. She says there's the Wadsworth Community Band concerts. She'll provide the bus and transportation for the residents to go to that. But the residents get to pick what's of interest to them, and I think that's huge.
The other thing that we do too, Heidi, who is our dietary director, she told me when I first oriented with each director for all the different departments, she had told me, she said, when you're talking to families and residents that are going to be thinking about moving in, as far as food and diet and everything, like if they have a favorite family recipe that they had, or something that they really like, she said, if you get that to me, she said, I will incorporate that, and we'll do that for dinner one evening or lunch one day,
that's so
and we
nice.
have done that. And one example of that is we had shrimp Alfredo one time, and the residents, a lot of them were like, oh, we really like this, but we liked the fried shrimp better. So Heidi changed out the menu the next time, and instead of the Alfredo, we did the fried shrimp because they liked that better, and we listen to that. We pay attention to those things, and we take it back to the department managers, and they want to accommodate. We want, again, it's home. So, if you like fried shrimp better than Alfredo in your home, you're going to make yourself fried shrimp, not Alfredo. So that's what we do.
Oh, now you have a big event coming up that I am so
do
excited
have a big
about.
event coming up. I
Okay.
am so excited too.
All right.
We have the Akron Pops Orchestra coming on May 30th, and we're going to do a cookout before. So we're going to have hot dogs and goodies to cook out, and we're going to set up cornhole and bocce ball, and have a little bit of activity going on ahead of time. So that will start at 6 o'clock. And we're doing it outside, weather permitting. We're all going to pray for good weather, right? And then the Akron Pops Orchestra will be putting on an hour concert. And so we're telling everybody in the community, bring your lawn chairs, bring your blankets. It's going to be a little symphony under the stars. Yeah. So we're really excited. And the Akron Symphony is wonderful. That's all volunteer. So it started out, I think it was 1926 when they started, and it was actually called the Doctors Orchestra. And then over time, different members weren't doctors, because it was all doctors that played at first, the instruments.
For a little stress reducer.
Yeah, exactly. And over time, it evolved, and it's no longer just all doctors. And so I think it was in 1986 they changed the name to the Akron Pops Orchestra. And like I said, it's all volunteer. They're sharing the gift of their talent, and we just wanted to showcase them. We hope the community comes out for it because it's going to be a lovely event. We're
Something
so
tells me,
excited about it.
Thinking of you inviting the whole public here, I can just picture sort of like the Blue Tip. I'm going to come there next week on Wednesday, and there's going to be a bunch of blankets laid and it's people saving their spaces.
Mine's already out there.
And then on Friday morning, you'll find them laying on our lawn.
Exactly.
It's Woodstock all over again.
Only at CoalRidge.
No, I think one of the cool things too about the Inn at CoalRidge, and especially as a child working with your parents, is that there's such a great continuum of care.
Yes.
So you can come in and live at the independent, bring your car, right?
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
just live like you're in an apartment, but you got a lot of friends
Yes.
and a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going
Exactly.
on. Yeah,
Yes.
because I would think that to me, I would age quicker being isolated in a home.
You do.
Yeah.
You know,
There's more depression that
Without
can
that
set in, and
socialization, yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and to find a euchre partner.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It probably reinvigorates some of your
It does.
patients when they come in there.
It does.
Or residents, I'm sorry.
And it does. And I mean, there's times that, you know, I have a resident that that says to me, you know, I came here when it first opened up, and I did not. And he goes, I'm kicking myself for not moving in when we opened up, which was in 2012. He came, I think, a couple years later, and he said, I lost 2 years of not having this socialization.
Yeah.
And he just, you know, every time you come in, you can hear him out of the dining room. He's talking to everybody, you know. He's a good advocate for us, you know.
Sure.
But it means so much to us, too, when people go out to the hospitals or have to go for skilled nursing for any reason. And when we go visit them, they say, I just want to come home. That is just so fulfilling to us that we feel that they feel that. You know, it's never going to be their home, but it's a home away from home, and we're making that for the last part of their years.
So,
And they're really, really true to that. This sense of home. There's two residents. There are a lot of residents who enjoy playing cards.
Yes.
And they played cards before they became residents. So the one, they have this beautiful pub, and she brings her euchre club in, and they have the time of their life. Another one brings her bridge club in. Another one brings her domino club in. So they're entertaining in their home.
Oh, I
So
never
that
thought about
sense
that.
of when it's their turn to host, they just
have
host
it.
at CoalRidge,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful.
Oh boy,
So
I'm
it
gonna
I can
continues.
see Friday margaritas with Jane and Michael on the horizon, can't you?
We do have a family on Fridays that they set up in the pub, and they set up their martinis.
They do.
And they have their,
What
Yeah.
time do they get?
about 3 o'clock. They
Yeah.
start right when it starts, and they have their little martini
Yeah, what's their last
bars.
name? We'll just stick a name tag on and we'll blend right
You're
in.
part of that family.
I have another resident that is related, and the one day she was kind of down in the dumps, and the server at lunch said, "Can I get you something to drink?" And she said, "I'd like a gin and tonic." And I said, "You know, today's Friday, there are martinis in the pub." And her eyes lit up, and she was like, "Just like at home?" And I said, "Yes." So one of the residents' son mixes the martinis, and I said, "This afternoon, go." I saw her the next morning. She goes, "What a great idea." So it is like home.
So now, when someone is considering a place, you know, for a loved one or themselves, you know, what is the process? What's the best way to reach out, I guess, to you to schedule something?
You can call me. We'll set up an appointment. Come in. We'll give you a tour, show you all our amenities, go over. The first thing that I like to do when I meet with a resident or their family is I like to learn about them. So the first part of the tour is just them telling me about themselves and what they like, so that I can see, are we the right fit for them? Are we going to be home to them? You know, so, and then we just take it from there. We go on the tour, and then usually they're like, here's my deposit, I would like to move in. So,
Well, you can
know,
also look on our website. We have the inn@coalridge.com. You can go there. It tells us, you know, kind of how we started and the amenities, and it gives pictures. There's a virtual tour on it as well. And anytime they can stop in for a tour. We don't have hours of we have hours of operation with management, but we're there. You know, receptionists, they know how to do tours, and you know, they can help us. They'll get a hold
we
of
make it
marketing
very
when we
simple
do.
for them.
Yes, so we're always there to help and reach out to us when
We
you have
welcome-
questions, and we can just answer questions for you along the way.
That is
We don't do any kind of financial disclosures.
No.
We just trust and know that if they're moving in, that this is, where they can be, and so we don't ask for anything like that. So it's a very simple process, and we don't do credit checks or, disclosures, financial
okay.
disclosures.
We're in
We
now.
got a chance.
Yeah, give it up.
We've been looking everywhere.
We finally found it.
Oh boy, this job was short-lived.
Well, Jamie, what I think I would like everybody to go away with further in at CoalRidge is that we do care. And you can have a beautiful building, you can have all the amenities, but if you don't have caring people and you don't have people that want to lead that, then then you're not going to have what we have at CoalRidge. And I believe that's why Deb felt that way as a vendor coming in. I think she felt we were a class above because I feel she felt like we cared, and we do care. When there's problems, we're not going to be perfect, but it's what we do about it to make things better. And I think me being the executive director, I like to have things like everybody feeling good about things and trying to make things accommodate. We're not always going to please everybody to sometimes their expectations, but it's what we do to work with the families, right?
Sure.
Chris and
Tammy
I have
and I
sat
are
down
both-
many times to discuss things, and it's just meeting halfway sometimes, and sometimes we can't do always what everybody wants, but we say, hey, let's try to get there, and let's work together as a team, because we're a team for that resident. It's not we're not this. We are a team, and we have to
Together,
get there
it's a partnership.
for that resident. So the quality of life for them is the best that it can be.
Oh, well, amazingly, we're out of time.
Oh.
Can you believe
really?
that? Yes.
I could do another half an hour.
I get to tell you, Tammy and I are nurses.
Oh yes, we're both
That
nurses.
carry-
Yes,
that-
we
that-
are.
That goes along with it. I know,
Yes,
there's
we are.
another chapter.
Another chapter.
Yeah, this is like
Okay.
the bonus after the show.
That's
part
right,
now,
yeah.
so.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Thank you for
coming.
having us.
thank you for
Appreciate
joining
it.
us.
Thanks for all you do for the community.
Thank you.
That's
I
awesome.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Thank
Thank you to
you.
all of you.
Thank
and,
you.
and good luck as you keep moving forward.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Sign us out, bud.
Thank you, Wadsworth, and have a great week.
Have a great week.